Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 476 of DrunkNerds podcast. Most as always, I'm Tyler, and joining me with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Dude, I'll tell you what, I am freaking stoked. This past week was pretty damn awesome in terms of gaming announcements. And not just that, Nintendo Direct.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, there's a bunch of shit I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, the calendar is filling out for sure. But
Exactly, and not just the calendar, both of our brackets for fantasy too.
yeah, oh yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah,
Well,
the
yeah, man, I'm
the
doing
bidding
pretty
war is getting hot for sure.
But Tyler, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, doing a little better now. Woke up yesterday and on Friday, like just kind of in a grumpy mood, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of lasted throughout most of the day today. But I'm doing a little better now. I've had a couple beers, been bullshitting with you for a little bit, so that's always nice to kind of get my mind off things. And um, what is annoying me now is my beer. Like, every time I open these beers, they keep foaming up, and it's really driving me nuts. I don't know why it's doing. Like I haven't shaken them up. There's
Are you shaking them up or something?
no, they're just sitting in there. They're standing up. It's not like they've been. I don't know. I don't understand it. I did get this cool little guy here though. Gables meant to show you for the show here. I got
Yeah, what's up?
a little new
Oh,
Funko Pop.
hey, it's a Funko Pop of
Yeah.
Pidgeotto.
Pidgeotto, yeah, for audio listeners. I got a Pidgeotto Funko Pop. That was fun. So they gave me like a little five. Yeah. Did your 7 Up there? Did that foam over too?
Actually, it did a little bit.
What the fuck is going on? What is happening? He is 2 time zones away. What is happening? It's Discord. We're using Discord now.
Yeah, we're using Discord now because of the whole audio issues and stuff with Skype that we
Yeah.
were having.
Yeah, so the last few weeks Skype has been unreliable for us, so we're using Discord now. So maybe I'm blaming Discord on this for this one. But yeah, no. I'm doing all right. Doing a little better now. I've been playing some games. But yeah, it's been definitely a crazy ass fucking week, Gables, for news. So why don't we just jump on into it? Give me a second here. Because I'm using Discord, I have to use my phone for the news part here. Sorry, guys. So bear with me as I load it up here. I also want to thank right off top once again, much like the last direct we had, even like some of the PlayStation State of Plays. I just want to thank fanbyte.com for doing the thing that has been the bane of my existence. As long as we've been doing this podcast, where I bitch every single time about how all these websites, which I love IGN, GameSpot, Game Venture Beat, all those. I understand it. You gotta do it for the clicks. I get it. But it annoys me that they don't just put everything all in one fucking thing, or they'll put like a couple in one thing. No, there's got to be a different article for each one. Fanbyte here, they just put everything in one. It's like they just know this is the go-to article for podcast hosts. So fanbyte.com, thank you. And once again, Imran Khan, thank you again for that. But anyways, getting off my soapbox there. Starting off here, Gables, we're getting a brand new fucking Fire Emblem game.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Warriors. So, Three Hopes. It's a sequel to Fire Emblem Warriors, but really it seems like it's a sequel to Three Houses in a way. It's a Musu game. It's coming out. I don't. Should I run through all this or should we go one by one?
You know what? Why don't we just go one by one this
Okay.
time?
So it's a Musu title. It's coming out June 24th. It says it'll be a different story from the mainline title. So Gables, you're the Fire Emblem guy. I mean, where were you when you saw this news?
Okay, I was not too surprised that there was going to be something Fire Emblem related unveiled inside of this Nintendo Direct in regards to rumors and in terms of rumblings and even in terms of a lot of predictions from mainstream like insiders. Maybe not like mainstream insiders, but just people going through that have some bit of knowledge and stuff. I was expecting some new Fire Emblem game to be announced. I did not think that was going to be a Fire Emblem like a Warriors title. And from what it looks sort of like a spin-off sort of thing from Three Houses that inspired and stuff. Funny enough, before Three Houses was announced, like in 2018, not 2019 or something like that, it got delayed like in 2018 and stuff, and Fire Emblem Warriors was released like during that whole initial time before the announcement of Three Houses, the next Fire Emblem after that, the more traditional sense of it. So, from the offset of looking at the Fire Emblem Warriors 3 hopes and stuff, the gameplay looks pretty good. I mean, it's a standard sort of Muso game and stuff. You have a hell of a lot of enemies on the screen. You have the three main like characters and stuff from individual houses and stuff from three houses and stuff, like going through and battling on an effect. You got the main character Byleth, either in male or female form of your choosing and stuff, and just doing a whole bunch of different battling stuff. So what's going to be fascinating is going through and seeing more story elements in that regards, and that's in that game, or what type of characters they're going to go forth and control in regards to this game itself. The other thing we saw is like a couple minute trailer, the introduction of the three characters that you're going to go forth and obviously play as, which is the representatives of each houses and stuff, and the main
Mm.
character. But my overall thoughts of that is like, okay, cool. It's going to be a summer release. It's going to be in June. It's going to be towards the end of June, mind you. I mean,
Yep.
that's fairly
June
soon.
24th.
I like that. That's the right type of foray to release that type of action heavy game in that regards around that spot. So I'm definitely excited to see how well that does. I understand though that this is probably not going to be the last thing we're going to hear in regards to Fire Emblem news, possibly by the end of this year. But
Yeah.
as far as say releasing another Fire Emblem game this year, I don't think so. I think this is it for this year, maybe
No.
2023. But at the same point, it's like I like the announcement, but at the same time, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. It's funny. I was like kind of watching this reaction stuff because I was like, after I watch it, I like to go back and like, when you get excited, it's just fun to see other people get excited about things you're excited
Mm-hmm.
about, or just kind of like things that aren't really in my bag. See other people get excited for them. It was funny like seeing some people like get super pumped when they saw it was Fire Emblem. They get really pissed off
Yeah.
when it's Fire Emblem Warriors. Uh, so
Out of the, I watched, and to be perfectly honest with you, like to explain to the listeners and also the viewers that are going to be going forth and watching this later on YouTube or wherever. I watched the Nintendo Direct estimated 5 times, full
oh
time
wow,
throughout. So the first when I was actually at work and stuff, and just doing my work and doing this and that, just watching the Nintendo Direct. But all the other different types of reactions, if it's like it didn't matter whether it was like people like Player Essence or Miss Click or even like Alana Pierce or even like
mm.
Maxwell Dude and stuff like that. Those all of them had different takes in regards to like the Fire Emblem like announcements. Like, yeah, one that was like fairly excited. It's like, oh, okay, there's another Fire Emblem like Warriors type of style of game, something different. But at the same point, it's just seeing the multiple different reactions of people, especially when it comes to Fire Emblem stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's a Warriors game.
Mm. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna hate this game just because I'm so pissed off by Age of Calamity, Gables. Um, so I'm gonna fuck this game. I'm gonna ban it in our fantasy critic league. As our manager of
You
that
would
league,
too.
I'm gonna do it. If you draft it, I'll boot you from the league. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. I'll say this like some people are getting excited about it's going to maybe continue the storyline. Age of Calamity was a giant bullshit lie, false advertisement of how they like, oh, it's the story of what happened 100 years before Breath of the Wild. And I don't want to hear people say, well, they never actually technically said it. The fuck they didn't. The okay, did they ever? Did they say, oh, it's this? No, but the whole way they described it, the whole way they talked about, it, the whole way they advertised it, was to make you think that's exactly what it is. They did not tell you it's a different
Right.
goddamn timeline where a fucking stupid guardian time travels 200 years in the past. Fuck that game. Fuck this game too. That's my opinion. Moving on. I didn't even talk about that game. I just how my opinions are. Moving on. Anyways, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp is coming out April 8th. So I mentioned this months ago that it's Nintendo eShop has had Nintendo or April 8th as the release date since they delayed it from December 8th. And it's just never moved from that. So I was like, okay, I guess that's just when it's coming out. So
Dude,
they leaked their own release date 4 months ago. So
yes, they did. I will say though, with the Advance Wars Boot Camp stuff, the 1+2, it looks better since the last time they've went through and
yeah,
showed it.
yeah,
Absolutely, it does.
doesn't look cheap. Like when I originally saw it, I'm like when they first announced it, like I was excited for it. I was gonna buy it regardless, but I was like, this looks like it kind of budget. Oh my fucking goddamn stupid Google here. Sorry. Damn it. Sorry. Here we go. Got it back up. But yeah, when I first saw it, I'm like, looks like they like did this on a budget and quick turnaround. to like maybe this should be like $40. So it looks like I wonder if they heard the complaints and they decided to like do that. And they even have like all like original voice acting. I love some of the stuff they've done. Like they have like fast forward mode. They have like you could do like I believe they said online for it as well, or at least you could do co-op. I can't remember if it was online. I imagine it is.
I think there
Oh
was
yeah,
some
I'm reading right here. Online multiplayer. Yep, local and online. So that's cool. Like 4-player online multiplayer. Yeah. I was all in on this game when they announced it. I think back at E3, and I'm even more in now, and I can't wait. Couple more months. What about you, Gibbles?
Dude, I liked how this game was presented. It definitely looks better than when it was first announced and stuff. I think it's Way Forward is working on this game. I think it is.
Yeah. Did Way
Yeah,
Forward? Did they do Link's Awakening?
Link's Awakening.
Who did the remaster, the remake?
Link's Awakening? I don't know. I honestly don't remember who helped with Link's Awakening for the Switch, but I know that Way Forward for Advance Wars 1+2 reboot camp, stuff like that. They obviously have made some good like visual improvements in regards to how the game looks. It doesn't look like just a generic Cal art style of like stuff, but I'm fairly impressed. I'm fucking fascinating and just digging my teeth, like just sinking my teeth into this damn game and stuff. And plus, that and another game that was announced in this direct and stuff is they're going to be launching around the same time span as my birthday, so that's gonna be fucking fun.
Yeah, good time for you, buddy. Know what you're asking
shit.
for. Yes, I mean, like you mentioned at the top of the show, first half of the year is filling up, or it's pretty much full. Next up, I mean, some of these we can just kind of move past real fast. No Man's Sky, it's coming this summer to Switch. It doesn't look like it's gonna run great. Mario Strikers is back. It's the first one that we've had since 2008 on the Wii. Mario Strikers Battle League. We're all assuming it's Next Level Games because they made the first two. Next Level Games, they made Luigi's Mansion. I was gonna say they
did.
I thought they were Link's Awakening. I remember that they're Luigi's Mansion. I mixed them up. Wrong 2019 Switch game. But yeah, so they have like you have like gear you can use that add like you can change like your speed and power and stuff like that.
Yes.
They got the Hyper Strike moves are back. Yeah, it comes out June 10th. They're gonna have looks like it's gonna have 8-player online co-op or 8-player multiplayer when you can use the Joy-Cons for that. I don't know. Give us on what you go first because I'm curious what were your reactions when you saw this.
I was stunned that there was a new Mario Strikers game. I'm not gonna lie, man. When I saw that trailer pop up, I'm thinking, okay, this is an arena setting. What are they alluding to right here? Is it something like different? Is it like a third-party game that they've gone through and tried to introduce? And all of a sudden, you see the mushroom, like the mushroom people or something like that inside the crowd. You're thinking to yourself, like, oh, wait a minute, this is fucking Mario Strikers. And you see all that going forth and everything else, and people absolutely losing their shit because the new Mario Strikers game is actually going to be coming out this year. Man, I love the way this thing has been handled, though. In regards to the gameplay and in regards to the fast-paced action, the finishers in that regards, and that type of edgy personality stuff that was kind of a staple with those older games, especially for the GameCube and the Wii. Dude, this looks like it's going to be a fun-ass game.
Yeah, to confirm, sorry. Way Forward did not do Link's Awakening. I don't know why I thought that was them. They're doing River City Girls.
Yeah, River City Girls.
So there's a new Blood Rain game that came out last year.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a Blood Rain game that came out last year, and I think it was a remake of it. What the release they had on the PS3 and the 360.
Okay, well that's depressing. Yeah, I don't know, Gables. This game looks really good. Looks like it could be a lot of fun. I'm just split on this one because I hope it's Next Level Games because I can't remember the studio that makes the tennis and the golf game. But
I don't know if it was Intelligent Systems.
It might have been actually. I can't remember who did it, but there's the same team. And they just weren't great. Like, I've talked about this a lot. I've complained about this a lot over the Switch generation, where Nintendo keeps putting out these games that are very fun to play. There's just not enough there to keep me playing them. So I've talked about over and over
Right.
again, when I go in, game comes out on Friday, I play like 5-6 hours. I come and do the podcast Saturday night. I'm raving about this game, and then a week later, I've totally forgot this game came out, and I have no like. I've done this time and time again with like Arms, Splatoon 2, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis. I keep buying these games, playing them for a weekend, have a blast with them, and just don't care after that. Um, there's just not a reason to keep going back to keep playing it. And I really don't want that to be the case with this, because I've made reference to several times. I remember going into my senior year, my very first paycheck for my first job ever, I bought two things, Gables. It was $97.
Yeah.
I remember that. Um, and I was making minimum wage. It was just before minimum wage was $7.25, and I bought a pair of tennis shoes. I bought Mario Strikers on GameCube, and then
Mm.
I started that job in May. And I remember that whole summer taking my GameCube over to my buddy's house, and we'd all like Justin would bring his like controllers, so we'd have 4 controllers, and we like the four of us would play Mario Strikers together, and I just played Mario Strikers over and over again. Um, when I was a kid, listen to Genesis. I have like a whole summer of just playing Mario Strikers, and listening to Genesis, and I don't know why, but I just would sit there and listen to Genesis on repeat over and over again and play Mario Strikers, and I did it. And I whenever I talk about these sports games, I just want them to copy that format of just like they
Right.
just copy the Mario Kart format, where it's just like there's tournaments, there's an easy, a normal, and a hard mode, and you just like you can do that, and nobody does it. They make we're gonna have a campaign mode, and they're fucking trash and they're garbage and they're a couple hours long and they're essentially a tutorial and they're not fun whatsoever. Looking at you, tennis and golf, especially golf. Fuck you. Um,
Oh, yeah. Especially the
so
Mario Golf, like Super Rush.
yeah. Um, and I really, really want this game to be really good because I've wanted one of these. I remember like the Wii one came out and I bought it, but I was like over the Wii at that point and I just didn't play it. And I just didn't want to do the motion control shit. So, but I remember like just loving, um, that on Mario Strikers on GameCube. So I hope so badly. This is exactly what I want. There's enough content there to keep me playing it. Like June 10th. I don't think I'm gonna pick it up on day one. It's definitely gonna be like a you know, wait and see. Yeah, but yeah, Mario Strikers Charge. That's what it's called.
For the
Nice, buddy.
listeners, I just pulled out my copy of Mario Strikers Charge for the Wii, considering that my bookshelf holds mostly Nintendo games and most of my, actually, all my Wii collections on the damn thing.
Yeah,
But
that's awesome.
yeah, I still have this Nintendo Select stuff. I think I got this one. I think I got this one new actually. Yeah, I did.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just one of those type of games and stuff where I did play a good amount of strikers and stuff like that, but not like a hell of a lot where I played like online or whatever. But I am I don't have like the nostalgia playing the GameCube game. Unfortunately, that one was past that iteration where I never really got fully invested inside Mario Strikers when it first came out on GameCube. But with the Switch, with the game coming out this June, I want to try this game, man. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
all in on it.
I definitely want to check it out. Like I'm just gonna wait to see. I want to wait for what people say, like reviews, and then when people say like a week later, like if there's
Yeah,
like still people playing it, like besides people like I'm sure like like a lot of content creators that we listen to, like they might have tons of people like they work with that can play the game with them, but like
oh yeah,
the average Joes like us that don't have people around to play with all the time or whatever. So I don't know. If this game comes out and it's 60% is what I want, I'll be fucking pumped. Um,
hmm
I'm not sitting there asking for 40 hours of like, I go back to this with a ton of content to keep going back to, but like, just give me like a good solid 10, 12 hours of just like repeated fun and things to do. Just give me a bunch of cups and I'll be very happy. Um, moving on here though, Gables with Splatoon 3, with the most annoying music in video game history. Um, they showed off. They have basically the salmon run is back essentially, which was what they added. It's like basically like a horde mode for Splatoon. They're calling this one Next Wave.
yeah.
Um,
Salmon
so
Run next wave.
yeah, so No other details really than that, other than a terrible soundtrack and update on sound run. And they confirmed once again it's still coming in summer 2022. I don't know, Gibbs. I mean, what's your opinion? Looking at this gameplay we got?
Well, let's see. I kind of like the expanded nature in terms of their salmon run stuff. Considering the last time I actually had a chance to play some of that stuff was like a trial thing for Splatoon 2, I
Oh
think it
yeah,
was back when that one, and I
they
thought
have
it was
like the
all
one
right
hour.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But it wasn't like say something I wanted to keep back and doing. At least with this version and stuff, if they do like a trial run of it, like say in a couple months or so from now, I'm gonna give that a shot. And quite honestly, I haven't seen too. I know we haven't seen too much of Splatoon 3 in terms of its single player, in terms of anything else in that regards. But it's actually got me thinking about possibly wanting to play Splatoon 2. But at the same point, I want to invest in Splatoon 3 when it comes out during the summer.
yeah. I mean, it's very weird because like we got that like really weird trailer last year when they debuted it, of
Yep.
like them in the desert and like there's a pyramid in the background, and we haven't seen this game in a year now.
Yeah.
And then we get this trailer just shows up the salmon run, and then nothing. I mean, like I think people, if you want more Splatoon, you'll probably be very happy with it.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a weird thing where like I don't think it really moved the needle in any sort of way, for anybody. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's coming summer 2022. I went to go draft it in our league, but Gable's already drafted it.
Remember, I already drafted.
Yeah, I totally
Splatoon
forgot it.
3.
I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna go fucking bid a couple bucks on this, and then fucking goddamn Gables. Moving on though, but seriously though, stop that music. They need to switch. They need to stop that. It sounded like they were like playing two different tracks on top of each other. It was terrible. I hated it. Moving on. Front Mission first is a full remake of the first Front Mission game. It's coming to Switch, and then the game that game launches this summer, and then the sequel is coming later. Is what they said. Which is I don't know anything about Front Mission, but they're coming. That's all I know.
Let's see. Front Mission, I know
It's that robot game.
Well, yeah, I know for a fact that originally that series was on the Super Famicom, right? And then on PlayStation, when that stuff released in North America and stuff, that was more or less an obscure sort of like a series. You know, Front Mission 1 and 2, the whole mech RPG sort of like stuff. It was a turn-based RPG, this and that and stuff. I was actually fairly surprised to see a remake announcement of Front Mission.
Yeah.
And that's like one of the themes in the regards to this direct in general. There was a bunch of classic games that you would not have expected to get announced, or like ports of games you were not expecting to get announced end up happening. And that was like those were like two of like a couple of different ones and not the show, you know. Front Mission 1 and 2 remaster coming on to Switch and stuff. I don't know how to feel really about that, since I don't have nostalgia for Front Mission, unlike some other people we may know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely the Switch has been that thing where it's like we're bringing back a lot of old games and they're selling like crazy. Yeah, like you said, Gables. Daniel Bloodworth from Easy Allies summed this direct up the best. Like this direct was made for old people, and he's right. Because that's exactly like if you grew up in like the 90s and like the 2000s, this is for you.
But if you were born in 2000s and stuff and you have no idea what the fuck these things are, then yeah, you probably have a bad time.
Yeah, if you're born in the 2000s, you're like, why is Dad freaking out right now? That's what you're thinking.
Why is Uncle Frank freaking out right now?
Yeah. Next up, like I said, we could skip some of these. Disney Speedstorm. It's a kart racer knockoff coming this summer. It's free to play. Star Wars. This one I thought was hilarious. Star Wars Force Unleashed is coming to the Wii, which I'm like, oh, cool. Like that's kind of cool. Like we're getting like
Star Wars Force Unleashed.
Or I'm sorry, it's coming to the Switch, but it's a Wii. It's a remaster of the Wii port. It's coming April 20th.
Oh my god, I thought this was so hilarious. I'm like, oh, okay, hey, the Force Unleashed, that's getting released on Switch. Until they outright said this is a remake of the Wii port, which you remember back then was the most inferior fucking port of the three, because it cut specific things out in order to compensate to be on the Wii.
I thought it was so weird. I'm like, this looks awful. Like I know it's like a 2008 game, but I'm like, this game looks bad. And I'm like, oh, it's the fucking Wii. I can't believe they said it in the direct. That's one of those things you just don't say and then let people read about later. Like
Oh my
normally
god.
they don't put that shit in the direct. They hide the bad news till until you get the press release later on. That's
You
what I
want
was,
to know the most hilarious part is the Wii version actually came by my workplace like about a week or two ago, and I thought, oh hey, maybe I should go forth and buy this. All of a sudden, this thing got announced today. I mean, not today, but like got announced in the direct, and I looked at it, I'm like, ugh,
mm,
no. If I'm gonna play the Force Unleashed, I'm gonna do it like on the 360 or PS3.
yeah, I was like it's backwards compatible on I think it's on Game Pass. So
Yeah.
and I looked it up. It's only $20. So they're not
Mm.
even trying to gouge you for money. Um, next up, Assassin's Creed Ezio Collection. It's coming to Switch. It's gonna use HD Rumble.
Okay.
Okay. That's coming next week. Um, Bandai Namco is bringing SD Gundam Battle Alliance to Switch later this year. Anything on
Okay.
that one? No? Okay.
No.
Um, Going back to what you're saying, Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers Edition is getting an HD remaster of the PlayStation game. Um, okay, so this is part of the kind of editorialized a little bit here. So the game was rumored as a full remake, but appears to be more of a remaster from the 2000 release. It comes with newly enhanced soundtrack, which seems impossible. I'm thinking Imran was a huge fan of Radical Dreamers, and the original Radical Dreamers for the Satellia View
The
until
Teleview.
I okay. You both I read it and then you said it, and I still feel like you guys worked together and made that word up. But okay.
Okay,
Um,
so I can give you a little bit of a backstory in regards to not only this version, but also the significance of Radical Dreamers, that text-based adventure game. Okay, so
wait,
for those,
whoa. This is a text-based adventure game.
yes, let me get started with this here. So, listeners, at one time before the advent of like digital marketplaces on consoles, there was a online service in Japan called Nintendo Satellaview, which was a service that you could connect your Super Famicom online to download games
Isn't that
onto blank cartridges.
okay? And then that didn't it like give you like a new thing every week?
Absolutely, maybe not like every week, but it did give you. I think it was like every month, and I think there was a subscription-based service based upon this stuff
Oh,
too, if
but
I'm
like
not mistaken.
it overwrote your save every time.
Well, yeah, it would
Okay.
rewrite your card, I think, like that. So for those back in the day, if you and that's how gamers later on, years later, found out there were specific games that Nintendo never re-released that were on these Satellaview cartridges. But going back to Square Enix here, Radical Dreamers, this text-based adventure is significant because it ties the events of Chrono Trigger to Chrono Cross. This is the type of game and stuff like canonically and stuff for kind of tying both those games together in regards to a story and stuff because like one of the characters inside of like Radical Dreamers actually is like kind of like a guardian of like over like one of the characters that later on appears inside of Chrono Cross. I think that her name was like I think it's somebody. I think it was like I don't know if it's like I forget which character it was though. I mean, hell, when it comes to Chrono Cross in and of itself, I don't really know too much about it other than the fact that I've played maybe a couple hours at most on the PlayStation version. That's me owning the game and putting off RPGs like I used to do. But the thing about it though is like a lot of the remastered stuff inside of this version, you can turn off random battles if you want to, which is a good idea because in that game random battles were pretty fucking obnoxious. I mean, granted, it's one of the best RPGs in the PlayStation, right? But yet, the RNG rate of like encountering monster battles and stuff was fairly high inside of Chrono Cross. So you have elements where you can just turn it off if you don't need to do that, and like there's other types of like improvements upon this game that's coming out. I mean, obviously the up-res visuals look pretty good in that regard, so not like muddy or like like butchered or anything of that sort. I like the idea of this Radical Dreamers package in of itself because that way it gives fans of the Chrono series in that regards like a little bit of like a history lesson of okay, this is like the game that kind of ties up like the events of like say Chrono Trigger and tying it into like Chrono Cross in general, like explains what happened in between, and how did it get to this sort of extent of where the events of Chrono Cross start, you know?
Mm.
And basically all that stuff going on. I kind of find it fairly fascinating, only because for years, like even Square Enix, the company itself and stuff, they never really tied up both of those games, even though fans of those games back when those games like were prevalent and popular and stuff, they knew they were interconnected somewhere because even characters like Chrono Merly and like Luca, main characters and stuff for the original Chrono Trigger, made appearances as cameos inside of Chrono Cross. But it's it's just an overall the overall idea now. It's like Nintendo having classic PlayStation games that never appeared on their system before the
Yeah.
Switch, and all of a sudden it's like a mind-blowing moment for me personally, because I grew up like seeing PlayStation games that you would never, you know, like games you would never would get on your Nintendo 64 or any Nintendo consoles because they were exclusively PlayStation. In this generation in general, it's like games like Final Fantasy 4, no, 7, 8, and 9 being on Switch, and 10 being on Switch. And now here comes another one right here with fucking Chrono Cross.
Yeah.
But it's not exclusive to, like, say, Nintendo Switch. I mean, there's releases on Xbox and also the PlayStation
Oh.
Marketplace, too, with the Radical Dreamers edition.
Okay.
So
Mm.
if you want to experience this game and stuff like that, hell, I highly encourage it. If you want to find out why that was one of the best PlayStation games of all time inside of for its time, then yeah, give like Chrono Cross a shot.
Hmm. All right. Well, there you go, guys. Wow. Okay. Wow. I did not know that. So. But moving on, Gables here. We got Kirby in the Forgotten Land. We got a new trailer for that.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
he eats a car. So now we have mouthful mode where he can becomes a, you got like cone Kirby, you got scissor lift Kirby, um, you like arch Kirby, car Kirby, vending machine Kirby, um, kitty Kirby who eats a cat, pocket pussy Kirby, a lot of Kirby's. So comes out March 25th. We already knew that. So we've really got our first real deep dive on gameplay on this one. I mean, we've got like the announced trailer, and then we got like a the date trailer a month ago.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I got this one pre-ordered. I got paid off at GameStop. Probably most likely pick it up. But I'm still like 50-50 on whether or not I'm actually gonna get it. Like I want to wait. People are saying if not, if I don't like it, I'll switch over to something else. But if. But Gables, you're a bigger Kirby fan than I. Obviously, like I've only ever really played like Star Allies and like Yarn, one of the Yarn ones,
Okay.
Epic Yarn. So I played Superstar on Super Nintendo as a kid. And that's
Okay.
kind of it. But what was your thoughts seeing this one?
I'll be I'll be perfectly honest with you. This is the Mario Odyssey equivalent of Kirby.
Yeah,
This looks like
yeah, I can
the
see that.
most inventive I've actually seen this franchise ever. And I'm not saying this lightly either. I mean, hell, I've been there since the very beginning in terms of Kirby games, dude. It's like Kirby's Dream Land, like 1 and 2 on Game Boy and stuff. I played through the NES one like years later, but seeing that franchise progressively move, and it was usually always would be like a linear sort of thing. Okay, 2D game, side scroller, this and that, with some interesting gimmicks here and there, interchange between what type of flavor that Sakurai wanted to go forth and do in terms of like the Kirby game and stuff. And then all of a sudden you see like the Forgotten Lands, and it looks like there was a lot of effort, a lot of and like a lot of new ideas like just tossed into this inside of a 3D environment. And this is the thing that like some gamers don't understand and stuff. With terms of Kirby games, they were pretty concrete. 2D games, sometimes they'd have some gimmicks here and there, but now you have a 3D Kirby game that's actually a 3D Kirby game and not like a pseudo 2.5 whatever type of stuff like with Kirby 64.
Hmm.
There's so much creativity that are put inside of like certain examples of like not only just level design but for Kirby in general. I mean, hell, even the whole aspect of like the mouthful mode of him like having like a him be like a gigantic car cover over a damn car as he's going through and doing this and doing that. Some creative uses in regards to like transversing the levels and some of the stuff we saw. Plus, I had a good laugh in terms of the vending machine Kirby, and all of a sudden you just have these
Yeah.
cans just like shooting, like pew pew pew, just like.
We have the Mario Sunshine Kirby where he's shooting water.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's like a big old balloon and stuff like that, and he gets like to just go forth and clean up spills or whatsoever and stuff with the water he shoots out and all this other crap. But yeah, it looks fun. It looks like it's a natural evolution of the series, and quite honestly, it looks like a. It also reminds me of another game inside of a series where this is like a good foundation for another, like a potentially more like expansive Kirby experience. Because I was kind of saying last week, or even like to you a couple weeks ago with Pokemon Legends Arceus and stuff, how that's a great foundation for to build off of and stuff.
Mm,
This looks like not only is it a great foundation and stuff like that, but there are a lot of good bridging elements that make it seem like it's going to be better than what it's giving off.
yeah. I mean, like I said, my never been a big Kirby guy, so like if this comes out and it's really great, then I'm definitely picking it up. But it's like my concern is like the problem with like Kirby games in the past is just they've been like super duper simple, and for like
Yeah,
been kind of boring. Like I played Star Allies, I'm like nothing really wrong with this game. It's just like just kind of
bland.
yeah, like there's just yeah, like Yoshi's Crafted World stuff like that, where it's like I'm just kind of there's not really there's no
Well, yeah,
challenge kind of thing. So that's my
because
go ahead, go ahead.
oh I didn't mean to cut you off,
No,
but
you're fine.
in terms of like games like Star Allies or even to a certain extent like Yoshi's like Crafted World and stuff like that, those are kind of meant to be sort of like an introductory, sort of like almost like a bridge game of sort to
Yeah,
where you want to go into like earlier access and stuff. But yeah, I agree with you though that those experiences can be bland and stuff, especially if you've already have played similar type of games, even games that are better, and all of a sudden you're presented with this. It's like, oh, this is kind of like a step back in what I want to
yeah.
enjoy.
It's like the kid's first platformer kind of thing.
Yeah,
And that's my concern. That's I mean, if it comes out and it's that, then it's gonna be a pass for me. But I don't like it's if it's not, it comes out, people are like it definitely does look like a Kirby Odyssey kind of thing. So and I hope it is that. I hope it like or at least the best version of what Kirby can do for that. So because this is a game I definitely want to play and like. But next up here we have MLB The Show. We got some gameplay for that. First time ever coming to Switch. Kingdom Hearts 1 through 3 is coming to Switch for the cloud at $90. So yeah, all those are out now. Klonoa is coming to Switch. Gables is dying.
okay. Let's just stop before we get on to Klonoa here.
Okay.
This was the lowest point in this Nintendo Direct when they went into the whole fucking cloud thing in regards to the Kingdom Hearts stuff. I mean, I did not like that announcement when it came out in general, even before this Direct. But the fact that you have to pay like upwards of the $90 for all of this experience, and yet people are having so much fucking issues with even playing this game,
Yeah.
these
It's on.
games because of the connections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This was fucking
You're not even getting a physical copy or even a downloadable copy.
no, you're just getting like a piss poor cloud copy and stuff where you
Yeah.
can't even really play it half the time.
It's the most expensive and the worst version of these games.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you have options, if you want to play Kingdom Hearts, do not play it on
Yeah.
cloud on the Switch. Get it just get it on other platforms.
Yeah.
I mean, for
You
God's
can get
sake.
every single Kingdom Hearts game ever made for half the price on any other console.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely. You can get the all-in-one package, or like say on Xbox or PlayStation and stuff, and pay like around what, $50-$60 for the whole package?
yeah.
For
Yeah.
God's sake.
2.8, 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah. Wild.
Oh my God. But
Switch tax.
even going before that for the Kingdom Hearts stuff and the whole MLB the Show, like stuff like that, I mean, granted the announcer was kind of like kind of a weird sort of meme sort of shit, but what was more hilarious was watching the Switch that actually it looked like it was actual Switch like a gameplay of itself of the baseball stuff. And I'm just watching as the game is like stuttering a bit
Yeah.
for the gameplay, and you could obviously see there are some frames that are radically dropping in some aspects. Like, oh god, this is not a full 30 frames. I can tell that this is gonna be taxing on the damn Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's never one of those situations where you get I mean, You're gonna pay $60 for it, but you're getting the worst version. But I mean, that's but people, if people want to play on the go, that are playing in bed or whatever, like
Well,
people are fine.
yeah,
We see
yeah,
that, but yeah,
and
it's
this is
like
definitely a game that may run better in handheld mode as opposed to being on a full screen TV. But
yeah, but it's definitely like this is like it's weird because like MLB the Show is like a showpiece title,
yeah,
so it's
it's
just
not really
weird.
a showcase.
Yeah, I get it though. I get why business wise why they're putting it on the Switch. Like it's probably gonna do very well. Um,
Mm.
but like I mentioned earlier, Klonoa is coming to Switch. The collection includes 1 and 2 being remade for Switch coming July 8th. I don't
I'm
know
happy
anything
about
about.
that.
Okay, like
Well,
I don't
here's the
really know
thing.
much about it, so
Klonoa, that series was used to be a PlayStation exclusive as well. Let's see, Klonoa 1 also had a remake on the Wii. The second game was on PS2 exclusive for a long time until this remaster and stuff. And fun fact, the original Klonoa games that are on PlayStation 2, yeah, they're pretty high up in like price now. If you try to buy them in this day and age, like the original, I think is over $100. Try to secure on pre-owned.
hmm. Okay,
So yeah, let's just say that when this game comes out and stuff like that, I mean, yeah, they're simplistic platformers. I mean, it's kind of like how it's not like bland, say a Star Allies or like a friggin' Yoshi's Crafted World and stuff. I mean, there's some enjoyment and stuff, but I've heard Klonoa 1's pretty short, but like Klonoa 2 is actually fairly sizable and a pretty damn good platformer. So that's something that people would have to look forward to.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm excited for that too.
good, good. Um, Portal 1 and 2 are coming in a collection, um, sometime later this year. Um, it's funny to me that the Steam Deck is out now and Steam's big maybe they're two of their biggest games ever are coming to Switch, finally. But moving on here, maybe the biggest surprise of the entire direct. Live Alive. There's been a lot of discussion what that's supposed to be. A Japanese only SNES JRPG, is getting an HD 2D remake on Switch. It's coming July 22nd. And Gables, this game looks fucking fantastic.
It
I
does.
want to play this game. I want to play. This game looks amazing. It's $50. Other than that, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go pre-order this shit right now. Cause it's only digital. I'm like, it's $50. I'll wait. But I'm really excited about this game, Gables. I can't wait to play this game. What about you?
That's actually amazing that coming from you, someone
I know, right?
that hardly wants to play RPGs.
Especially well, JRPGs especially, but I love the HD 2D style. I don't know. This game just looks awesome. But
When
yeah,
this was announced, at first, I knew there was something familiar about it. And the reason why I thought it was familiar is because I remember a couple of years back, I was looking up like in regards to Super Nintendo games that never made it stateside, and this was one of the games, Lava Live or something like that, or Lava Live, whatever it's pronounced. I mean, this is one of those classic RPGs in the Super Famicom and stuff. That was one of the reasons that was like fantastic. Because here's the thing: you have several different protagonists, right? And like all these protagonists, they have interchunked like stories and stuff you can go forth and complete and stuff like that. Like for example, like the Shinobi and then like the little robot that goes through his campaign and stuff. All of these are various campaigns, and then it all collaborates to one singular campaign. That much I can go forth and divulge and stuff. I know some bit about this game because of videos I've watched on YouTube and stuff. But when I saw this game announced, when I saw like Lava Live announced, and I saw the freaking pixel remastered, the same type of shit that we're now seeing in like games like Dragon Warrior 3 remaster and like freaking Triangle Strategy and like Octopath Traveler when that was the first game of its type to go forth and do that. I was fucking excited because this, I agree with you, Tyler. This is a fucking fantastic looking game. This is definitely the type of thing I want to play because not only is it scratching that itch and stuff where it's like this is an old Super Famicom game that nobody in America or in Europe had a chance to fucking play, but we are getting a shot at playing this game.
yeah, yeah. I hope there's a physical edition comes out because,
I hope so
uh,
too.
but yeah, this game looks absolutely incredible. Yeah, Pierre Schneider, who's like one of the co-founders and runs IGN, um, was freaking out on Twitter when this got released or announced. And he said it's basically like, he summed it up very well after I kind of learned a little bit more about this game. But basically, like, Octopath Traveler was like the successor to this game, like the spiritual successor, where like 8
In a
different
way,
people.
it was.
Yeah, so it's Square Enix game, so I could see that. So I definitely it's a game that I for sure am. It's shot way up. It's pretty high now on games looking forward to for the rest of the year.
No shit. And that's the thing, man. It's like Project Octopath Traveler, when that came out and how successful that was, and then Square Enix looking back and seeing why that game was successful, contributing to what we're seeing now. I hope they keep on continuing this type of remake trend. Yeah. Do it for a fucking mainline Final Fantasy game. You do it for a 4, 5, or a 6, people are gonna fucking eat that up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It was funny. So Mike Minotti, who works for VentureBeat, was talking about going back and looking at reactions of people. He was like, he freaked out when they announced this because he knows the game. He like, but he's a huge Final Fantasy fan. And he's like, he was like screaming. He's like, why the fuck does this look better than the Final Fantasy remakes? Because they're doing those fucking pixel remasters. He fucking lost his shit when they announced that. So when he saw that, he's like, this is bullshit. He even wrote an article on VentureBeat about it.
I 100% agree.
Yeah,
that is bullshit.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fucking hilarious. So, but speaking of hilarious, Wii Sports Gables, remember that game?
Yep.
Well, we're getting another one. Nintendo Switch Sports. It was announced. It's coming with tennis, bowling, chambara. It's the sword game. And then it's including soccer, but it looks more like Rocket League with Mii's. Badminton and volleyball are going to be in part of it. You can use the leg strap that comes with Ring Fit Adventure, but there is a physical edition. There's going to be 2 editions coming out. There's a $40 one that's this game. There's a $50 version that comes with a leg strap. But they said there's going to be an update later where you can play the soccer game with the leg strap. Okay. It won't be at launch. And then it's coming on April 29th, so that's pretty fucking soon. And they said there's going to be a couple updates. The leg strap one's coming in the summer. Golf is coming in the second half of the year. Gables. I'm sorry. There's one other thing here. There will be a test you can do. I think you got to sign up for it though, from February 18th to the 20th. So for the love of God, put your Wii straps on, and don't break your super fancy OLED TVs, people. But Gables, when you saw this, what was your opinion?
Overall opinion is, well, this is another million seller.
This thing's gonna sell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm all over the board right now, Gables. I've talked about a lot the last year or so about Nintendo. I've been in this weird place with them. Like 2019, 2017, 2018, 2019, fantastic years. 2020, 2021, not so much. I understand COVID shit happens. Yeah. 2022 started off really great with Arceus. That game is fucking amazing. But it's funny. I was thinking about it kind of over the last couple of days, where like it seems like the more popular Nintendo gets, the less I like Nintendo games. Like the more out I get on Nintendo. Like I was a huge Nintendo fanboy all my life, and then the Wii came out, and then very quickly I'm like I was over the Wii after like a year. And now the last couple of years, as the Switch has seemingly gotten even more popular since COVID, the less I've been in on some of the stuff they're doing. And now we're getting fucking Nintendo Switch Sports. It's just like are we really doing this again? Like, have they not learned the lessons of what happened with the Wii? The second, like after 2 years, 3 years of the Wii, where just no one gave a shit anymore. All those people that played those games moved on. They play mobile games. I just don't play games anymore. Do we not learn the lessons of the Wii U? Like, I think this thing's going to come out. What's stupid is I'm saying this. This thing's going to come out and it's going to sell probably 10 million copies.
Yes.
But I have a feeling it's going to come out and people aren't going to give a shit after like a month. It's going to be that, nostalgia thing. Oh, cool. It's like you're going to try to get your mom or your grandma in that was in on it, 15 years ago. But now your mom's 50 and your grandma's dead. And And so, sorry, I don't know why I got so.
Damn, that went to a dark place
Yeah,
quick.
it did. Wow. But anyway, anyways, I apologize.
Just think back to the day you were playing some good games and playing some like Wii Sports, and all of a sudden it's like now flash forward, your mom's 50, your grandma's dead.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I interpreted it. Like, God,
right?
damn.
Wow. I don't know why I got. Wow. Sorry. Nintendo brings me to a dark place. I apologize, people. So I don't know. Like we're doing it again, and I know it's gonna sell, but I feel like we're gonna learn. Nintendo's gonna learn the wrong lessons from this. We're like, well, it sold super duper well, so maybe people want this again, and then they're gonna do the thing where they're gonna misread everything, and then they're gonna go down a dark path, and we're gonna look at. I mean, maybe not. I don't think. I don't know. But it's like I don't know. Maybe it's hard to say like they won't go Wii U again, but we see them at like the peak of where they were with the Wii, the best they've ever been. And then they fucked it all up. And now, for Switch, we're at the point now where the best they've ever been since the Switch and the DS days, or the Wii and the DS days. And here we are again. We're going back to this. And I don't know. I'm all over the board with it because it's like, I know it's gonna sell, but I don't think after a month anybody's gonna give a shit. But like people like talk about yeah, but it's just like people are like, well, Ring Fit Adventure sold, but I'm like, Ring Fit Adventure was kind of a flop until COVID happened. Like we talked about it, like that game came out and it sold a few 100,000 copies, and then COVID happened, and literally 3 months into COVID, it shot from 500 and some odd place on NPDs to the top 20 in 1 month. Yep. Like if it wasn't for COVID, that game it's the 10th best selling game on the Switch right now. If it wasn't for COVID, that thing maybe would have sold 1 million copies. I mean, I don't know.
Absolutely.
People are excited about it. It seems like but it's like I said, like this is one of like people like us talked about earlier, where this director's for old people, and there's definitely a lot of nostalgia for a lot of people. Like Mario Strikers, fucking a lot of JRPGs coming back, Switch Sports. I don't know. I'm all over the map on this one, where it's like I don't give a shit about this game. I'm sure people are gonna buy it. I know people are gonna buy it, and I'm sure people are gonna talk about it. And I guarantee you, I wouldn't be shocked by. It comes out April 29th. By June, we no longer give a shit about this game.
And that definitely has the possibility of happening, Tyler. And that's just the thing, though. It's like, this is definitely the types of games and stuff. It's like mini games type of stuff where it's going to appeal to a wide amount of like of an audience and stuff. But it's still going to go forth and probably sell a couple of mil, probably because of like the price of it plus the ease of use and stuff. But yeah, I definitely do seeing this game not having a lot of relevance, like come a couple months after its release, maybe like in a June or a July or something like that, when they have the other big games coming out there, like Strikers.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wonder what I could see them this winter, like packing that in as their packing game with the Switch for the holidays.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
And try to like hit that Wii days again. And pet peeve of mine, Gables. I keep hearing people talk about how, well, Wii Sports sold over 100 million copies. No, the fuck it didn't.
Nope.
It did not sell 100 million copies. It came with the fucking Wii. It doesn't count. It does not count. It drives me nuts, Gables. Drives me goddamn nuts when I hear people say that, like, as an argument. Like, I know Wii Sports sold a lot. Like, I'm not saying that Wii Sports was maybe the most important game to the Wii. I understand that.
Yeah.
But it did not sell 100 million copies.
Demo.
It was a tech demo. Yes. I don't know why, I guess, but I don't know. It's just so weird because I mean, they keep pushing the Joy-Con stuff, but I wonder how many people are really going nuts. I mean, I don't know. It's hard because like I understand I'm in a bubble with gaming, and that's why I've talked about like a month ago with like NPDs. I like do NPDs because it kind of brings me out of my bubble to like understand the rest of the gaming world. So maybe when we get the NPDs for April, I'll have a better idea of where my bubble is. But going up next here, Taiko is coming back to the Switch with Rhythm Festival. It is like they're doing like the rhythm with that drum game. They're gonna have over 500 songs coming to it. It's gonna be like, but it's like a subscription model. So, I got nothing on this one, Gables.
Okay, I know the Taito Drum Master type of games and stuff, fairly popular inside of Japan. There's going to be at least a good fair amount of songs to select from, with the possibility of, hey, you can go forth and subscribe to have like 500 plus songs go through. And the thing about these games is they're pretty comical. I've never actually played the games in themselves, but yeah, they advertise like the theme for The Legend of Zelda, plus like a couple of different tracks along with it, like say Megalovania from like Undertale and all those stuff. Because hey, why not?
Eh,
But yeah, it seems like the type of game itself where it's gonna be fairly fun and stuff if you're into like a lot of the rhythm based music games and stuff.
yeah. So, yeah, whatever. I mean, I remember when I worked at a game store in like the mid 2000s, we had like 5 of those like drum sets. I believe it was for PS2, and we couldn't sell them,
Yeah,
so we just stopped till we like. It was kind of like before Rock Band and Guitar Hero like kind of got old, where it was just
yeah,
like we just stopped buying. Like we stopped. People tried selling them to us. Like no, we're not taking. We got 5 up here. We're not buying these because no one's buying them. So people would like try to sell them all the time. It's like we're not taking those.
yep.
So I don't know. Whatever. I mean, it's we'll see how it works out. Triangle Strategy is coming out. I think it's also coming March 25th. They announced a new
Yep.
demo is out now. You can play the first 3 chapters, and your data from that will go. Well, if you buy the main game, will transfer over to the main game. So kind of cool. I downloaded it. I haven't got a chance to play it yet, but I do want to at least check out the first couple hours maybe. You?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I want to get my chance to go forth and play this game, and yeah, definitely seems interesting to me.
Yeah. I mean, seems like a fun maybe tactics game. Cuphead Delicious Last Course is coming to Switch as well. That's coming June 30th. We already knew it was coming out June 30th, but we didn't know it was coming to Switch, so they announced that. Free Metroid update has been announced. They have 2 new difficulties. They have a rookie mode where you have increased health and you take less damage, and then they have a even more difficult mode where you die in one hit. Dread
The
mode, I believe, is
dread.
what that's
Oh,
called. Yeah. Then they announced those are out now, and then there's an update that'll be coming out later this year called Boss Rush mode. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it makes me a little more interested in possibly checking out this game because I've heard how difficult it is. So, maybe now that it's got a rookie mode, I'm kind of more interested in checking out. What about you, Gables?
it's cool to have those options. You have a rookie mode for those that want to experience it without like dying too much, but at the
Mm,
same time, you also satisfy the amount of people that want to play through and do everything like perfectly and stuff, or just want that extra challenge inside of like a one-hit kill sort of mentality, like a retro style of
yeah,
arcade way of doing it, and that's fine too. It's like you have that variety for everybody, it
yeah,
seems.
yeah. More people should be doing that. Looking at you, Dark Souls. That's all I have. Next up, Earthbound. Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings are out now actually for Nintendo Switch Online. Um, oh wait, yeah, no, it is. These are actually the first 2 SNES and NES games to come out for online since they announced the 64 expansion.
Yep. Yes, they
So
are.
7 months. Uh, so good on you guys for keep paying for that fucking thing. Um, well, but it gets a little better. We'll talk about that later. Uh, there was some people freaking out because they the mother creator tweeted about the direct before it happened, so people were like losing their mind. So I guess a little more reason for that. Um, but yeah, I don't have too much on that one. I mean, I'm happy they're finally there. I mean, we bring it whenever they announce
Well, yeah.
these like random ass fucking NES and SNES games that no one's even heard of, or they're bad games that get announced. I was like, what about all these great games that aren't on here yet? So I mean, whatever, they're out now, and I don't know. People are like, well, maybe this might mean Mother 3, but I remember like Earthbound Beginnings came out on the Wii U and sold
Yes.
in the hundreds of thousands of copies, which
Yes.
is a very good seller on the Wii U. Like
Absolutely.
games like Captain Toad and Bayonetta 2 sold a couple hundred thousand, a few hundred thousand copies. And Earthbound Beginnings did the same thing. And that was like a
And
$5.
now
And like, that was a game they just ported. So, and like Bayonetta 3 is happening. Captain Toad got ported to the Switch. So,
Yeah. And now games like Earthbound Beginnings and the original Earthbound and stuff that before then were ported onto like the Wii U, and Earthbound was on the 3DS's marketplace and stuff
in the
like
Wii,
that when the
yeah.
new 3DS came out and stuff. And
Yep.
the Wii actually, I don't know if the Wii actually
I think
got
the
that.
Earthbound. I think Earthbound came to Wii. I'm
No,
pretty.
actually, Earthbound,
Really?
Earth. I don't think Earthbound came to Wii, not in the digital service or something like that.
That's
I would have
wild.
remembered that. It came out on the Wii U.
Yeah, I remember on
But
the Wii and Wii U, but I'm shocked I never came to the to the Wii. But yeah,
I would have to double check that personally.
yeah.
But
I just gotta
at the
imagine
same,
it. I don't know.
but
It's Nintendo. They can weird
the long
Nintendo
story
decisions.
short is like you have both of these games on the Switch's online service and stuff, to where now there's going to be millions of people going through and checking this game out. This is the best scenario that
Yeah,
any fan of Earthbound could have wanted in regards to getting as much recognition or as much like type of exposure to the series as possible. Because if you want an eventual Mother 3 to come stateside, I like in the US or in Europe or wherever and stuff. I mean, granted, that game has some hurdles if it's going to even remotely be translated into English, because there are portions of that story that there are dark tones inside that game that there's a reason why it's not translated yet, even though this is an over 15-year-old game at this point. 2006, that's when it released in Japan, exclusive to the Game
mm,
Boy Advance. But there's this is a good start. I mean, hell, for years, fans of Earthbound wanted just ports of the game on like systems, Nintendo systems, man. Like the Wii U, that definitely was a big hit right there. People were fucking freaking out with Earthbound, and Earthbound Beginnings were
yeah.
re-releasing on the Wii U.
Well, Earthbound Beginnings never came over here before. I remember
No,
it was at that Smash Bros tournament the day before E3. They announced it on stage, and people lost their fucking minds when that got
and for good
announced.
reason.
Yeah,
Because for those that know this series and love this series, I mean, hell, I'm a part of it as well. Because, fuck, for years, you'd have dedicated communities come together, especially the guys of the people of Starman.net, for God's sake, that ever since when that game first released in Super Nintendo in the early days of the internet, that we know it right now in its current form and stuff, it's that like cult classic sort of vibe with that game expanded itself to grow bigger, and a lot of people have this deep love and respect for this series. And then all of a sudden it's like translating of what it is right now, it's like more people getting exposed to it, more people going through and do it and stuff. It feels like the final kind of like finale of all this is eventually Mother 3's reveal. And whether it's going to or not remains to be seen, but
yeah,
it's fucking awesome that both of them are out on online, like for the Nintendo Switch's online thing, and that Shadow dropped that very day.
yeah. I mean, it's weird because Nintendo obviously knows that there's a fan base behind it. Because whenever
Yes, they do.
they make a pretty big deal about when they get ported or they come out or whatever, and it's weird. Like they know it's a big deal, but they still don't do it. I do think though, if the day comes that like the Game Boy games eventually like come to the Switch Online, that's when you have a chance, because we've seen them
Yep.
bring over Japanese games before on these online things. So, um, but if that
Or
doesn't
just have them
happen,
do like a full remake or something like on Switch, you know?
yeah,
Maybe.
maybe a remaster. But yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, who knows? Um, it's just weird. Uh,
Yeah.
but I do want to just throw this in Gable's face. I held a copy of Mother 3 in my hand just yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, he did, because he
I sent him
sent
a
me
picture.
photos over Instagram,
Yeah,
and he shows me all the pictures of what his friend went through and bought like online auctions and
from
stuff from
Japan.
eBay.
Yeah,
And yeah, like literally box copies of Mother 2 and Mother 3.
it's a brand new and still in the package copy of Mother. Um,
Oh
yeah,
my god.
and yeah, he has like Game Boy Advance. He has all three of them on Game Boy Advance, and he has Mother 1 and 2 on Famicom, Super Famicom. So, um, I
It's
had to
super
send a
cheap to
picture.
buy from Japan than it is in
Yeah,
actual.
he said like here in America for a box copy it's like $5,000, but to get a box copy of
God.
From Japan it was like $50. So,
Oh yeah.
um, so yeah, if people are interested in playing it, and you want to get like and have a physical copy, just get it from Japan. But moving on here, we had a montage. We had like Zombie Army 4, Demon Slayer, Lego Brawls, 2 Point Campus. A couple other games were shown off. Nothing really important to talk about there. Maybe the biggest, to me, my favorite part of the show. Um, Mario Kart 8 is getting DLC, Gables.
Yeah, yeah, it
Mario
is.
Kart 8 Deluxe, which is Mario Kart 8 with all the DLC, is now no longer. It's no longer. You can. I don't think you can legally call it Deluxe anymore because it's not everything. But anyways, we are now gonna get 48 new tracks with 6 waves, 8 tracks coming at a time. It's 2 different cups coming. The first cup's coming on March 18th. We're gonna get, like I said, we're gonna get 8 at a time, up and all the way up until they said the end of 2023. And it's only $25, but it is a part of the Nintendo expansion, the $50 version, not the $20 version. Um, I'm pumped for this. What sucks is like they're remastering old courses, which I'm fine with, but they're not like doing Mario. They're not Mario Kart 8ing it, where it's like they're adding like the zero gravity stuff, not the zero gravity, but the gravity stuff to it. Like they're just they're straight remasters of them. But they're taking from all the previous 9 versions or the other 8 versions, including Mario Kart Tour. So they have like new Donk Cities, like tracks that are only in Mario Kart Tour are coming to this, which is kind of cool. No new characters, or doesn't seem like any new carts or characters, but just tracks. But like I said, it's $25, or if you have the $50, the expansion pass pack, whatever thing that is, it'll be included in that. But I'm pumped for this. I'm for sure popping down my $25 to get the booster pack. What about you, Gables?
Yeah, honestly, I'm fairly excited because of all the extra content, I mean, hell, $25 for pretty much a full-fledged additional Mario Kart fucking
Yeah,
game and
yeah,
tracks. Doesn't matter if they're remastered tracks or not and stuff. You're getting that much more content on top of an already excellent game.
yeah. Like, and that's a good point. Yeah, because that was something I was thinking about. Where like I see a lot of people are upset because they just want a new one, but I'm like, for me, it's like for Mario Kart, I just want. I mean, I know they're like remastering of old tracks, but it's like I just want more content. Like I don't care about what the new gimmick is, and like I don't care about the double dash. I don't care about this. I know it's not zero gravity, but I'm gonna call it zero gravity. Um, I don't care about that stuff. I just want more tracks to play. I want more reasons to go back to play this game, and this is
Yes.
exactly what they're giving me. It's weird. It's wild that it's been
It
on the Switch for 5 years. This is an 8-year-old game, and we're just now getting this. But this tells
it
me
makes me want
that,
to play it.
oh yeah, like I can't wait. I still have my copy of Mario Kart 8 on the
Same.
Switch. You know, I keep it around just because I enjoy going back to it every now and again. But like every time I go back to it, I'm like, I'll play like a cup, and I'm like, man, I just want some new shit to play. I'm pumped for this. I can't wait that at least 6 other times over the next, I don't know, 18 months, 19 months, I have a reason to go back to play this, and I'm pumped for it. And it's like, yeah, it's like
Absolutely.
instead of me paying $60 for a brand new game that might come with 48, probably come with 36, tracks. Yeah, sure, half of them will be new, and the other half will be remasters. But it's like I'm paying $25, or if you already have the expansion pass, nothing because you already have it
Yeah.
for this. And I think it's a smart idea too. Like they're trying to make this expansion pass, whatever the fuck they want to call it. They're trying to really sell this thing, and they're doing the best they can to give you a reason to keep going back. Because I feel like I wonder how many people are going to fall off after a year, because a lot of people I bet bought it just because the Animal Crossing DLC is on there. They're only adding one game at a time to 64, and there's not a lot of 64 games to add to this that they can add that makes sense.
Yeah.
So this is a smart idea of like, well, the re-ups are in November. So November 2023, they're gonna re-up in November because they want to keep playing Mario Kart. There's another $50, and then they're gonna re-up again in November because there's probably gonna be one more pack coming out. It's in December of 2023, so they're gonna they're gonna double dip on those people, and get them for another 2 years. So I think that's smart too. So I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
for me this is best case scenario because the only 20. I mean, best case I guess give it to me for free. But what I know, but anyways, yeah, best case $25 for a whole other game's worth of fucking content. I'm all in. And I like the fact it's spread out over over 18 months or whatever it's going to be, because that's awesome. Because yeah, I could jump in and play it for a couple, get a few hours of fun, jump in and play it for a weekend, do the 50, do the 100, do the 150, and bounce out, and then a couple months later jump back in. Like that's gonna be a go-to game for me for the next couple years. I'm pumped for it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
But moving on to the last thing here. I mean, nothing big. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is coming out, so yeah, whatever. Kind of a, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know there's a lot of people excited about that. I get it. It's not my thing. It just the last few one more things at the directs had just been kind of disappointing for me. Whereas like E3 was awesome because we got Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay, but like the last one was Splatoon 3, and then this one was Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So
Well, yeah, it's the type of like the closer stuff like that. You either like it or you don't. I mean,
yeah,
there are
no, I
people
yeah
that
yeah I
yeah,
get it.
there are people that were very excited about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and I honestly understand why, because the game in and of itself looks better polished. There's definitely some terrains and everything else, explorable elements that look pretty freaking beautiful, honestly.
Oh yeah, the game looks
But
fantastic.
it does. I honestly feel like it does look fantastic. There is that little brief moment, like, okay, what is it that they're trying to announce right here? And all of a sudden, when you see the giant battlefield and these mechs, oh god, this is Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Yeah,
And it's like, fucking people flipped out when they saw this footage, dude. I mean, it. The last game in the main series was back when Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and that, even though it did score well in terms of reviews, and there are some people that liked it, there were plenty of them that thought it was kind of divisive because the main character is pretty stupid in some gamers' point of view, and it was kind of too anime-ish and stuff that kind of turned a lot of people off of that as well. But this seems to be a bit more gritty, a bit more dark in tone, like say like a Xenoblade Chronicles X and that whole type of spiel and stuff, to where it looks like it's more focused upon what made not only the original pretty fun, but also Xenoblade Chronicles X a little bit more, just from the opening trailer that we've saw so far. But in terms of gameplay, I do want to see what type of new things they've added into it. I do want to see what more this potential story of it itself. I mean, it looks beautiful, and the best part about it, it's like it comes September of this year.
yeah.
So we're definitely going to see some form of probably another future direct just focusing on this game, or maybe even in June when they go forth and maybe say a little bit more if Nintendo does do another direct during that time period, which is highly possible, but
Yeah.
not guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, we'll at least have we'll probably have a June direct like we always do, and then we'll have they usually have three big ones a year. We usually have like the one at the beginning of the year. We have one in June. Then we have the usually like one in like September. So
Yeah.
I feel like we'll probably have a date probably here soon. Well, probably by June at the latest, because I mean they kind of have to there. But yeah, I thought it was overall a pretty good direct. I don't think it was far from the worst, far from the best. I mean, the big thing about these things is like looking at it, just kind of looking at it from outside of like what I directly liked out of it. Like I think it's a very good direct, but it wasn't like it's not top tier. It's not, but it's definitely not bottom tier. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like the big thing about these things is like picking out a few, 2, 3 things out of it you personally like. And yeah, there's definitely, I mean, like the Mario Kart stuff, I'm super pumped for. I'm cautiously optimistic for Mario Strikers, and I'm happy we confirmed a date, even though they leaked it 4 months ago, for Advance Wars. So, what about you, Gables?
I was fairly excited about this direct. I mean, this was a freaking
Oh, Live a
exciting
Live.
direct. Well, yeah, Live a Live and stuff, plus like the Mario Kart stuff, plus the smart the Mario Strikers like Battle League stuff. There was a lot to like in terms of the stuff that I personally like, but also in terms of just the perspective of wow, this is a lot of variety in terms of appealing to specific niches and stuff that don't hardly get anything in regards to what they potentially may want in that regards. I mean, hell, you see like a turn-based mech RPG and like Front Mission like remaster and stuff like that. That going forth and being announced, and then like Klonoa, another kind of a niche stuff like that for the fans of that series and stuff. Pretty much announcements for game series and stuff that have laid dormant for years, all of a sudden randomly get announced inside of this one Nintendo Direct, and it's fucking driving everybody fucking crazy that have been around the gaming sphere and stuff, that have played games from that generation or experienced them firsthand. But I do know for a fact that when it comes to a lot of the appeals and stuff, I was I thought this direct was fairly strong. I thought it was a great direct. Maybe not like the best direct, maybe not like say in the middle in that regards, but I felt like there was enough there to satisfy what I personally came in with, which was pretty solid, like flatline like expectations. It's
Yeah.
like I highly thought that we were gonna possibly see like Breath of the Wild 2 potentially, maybe like some Mario Kart related, which we did. No Zelda stuff, but that's understandable. If the game releases by the end of this year, they have to possibly at least show gameplay in like June or possibly like in the next couple of months. But if I had to give it a rating in that regards, I would give it a solid 9 out of 10.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm like a 7. Like it's like I think
Yeah.
it's like a B minus to me. Like this is nowhere near the best. But this is far from the bottom. It's I would say it's an above average direct. So, but it's still very good. But like it wasn't like yeah. I bet it's hard because they've had so many great ones. So it's hard sometimes when like they
Yeah.
can't always be that good. So, but
Well,
yeah,
that's the thing.
yeah. But Gables, I think we're gonna wrap up this part of the episode because we went
Okay.
like an hour and 15 minutes on just the direct. So we're gonna end this part here, and then we'll be back. Uh, probably like a day later for people listening to this if you're listening as it comes out. With the rest of the stuff. Yeah, if you liked all this, please like, follow, subscribe. We're on everything: iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, uh, Google, Spotify. Like, follow, subscribe, all those places. Share them, please. We really appreciate if you did all that for us. But thank you guys for listening to this edition. We'll be back shortly with another edition. I was host. I was Tyler.
And I've been Colonel Gables. Until next time, everyone, play some fun games. But most importantly of all, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk-Nerds podcast.
Thank you, Gables.
Yeah,
Too sweet.
too sweet.
Bye, guys.
See ya.